What's up, catfish people? Hope everybody's doing good today. Give everybody a minute to chime in here. Get all that stuff out of the way. Let everything come up in there. Hopefully I got a decent enough cell signal. Boom, boom. Can't see what's going on. There we go. We'll give everybody a minute to show up, get notified. Hopefully. What's up, fishing not catching? How y'all doing? Adam Ferguson. Pull my pants up. Pardon the noise in the background. I got a bad blade in a bait tank running back over there. I'm gonna let it get some oxygen in it, and I'm gonna turn it off here in a second. It's just need to get some oxygen going there. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Wonderful Sunday. I'm on Lake Wateree. I was on Santee the other day. Made a move today just to fish something a little different for the heck of it. Biggest thing was I didn't want to drive home 3 hours from Santee, so I drove up to my camper up here at Lake Wateree and decided to jump out on the water. Hello, everybody. Hello, my lovely wife, Tanya Melhorn, in there. Tater Bug. I said, hey, Tater Bug's my little super future YouTube star. If she was here, she would be taking over and I wouldn't get to talk. But now you have to deal with me. She's a lot cuter. I'm on Lake Wateree. That behind me is fog. Just in case you're, let me move out of the way so you can see. There's a big old bank of fog back there. And I'm trying to catch some fish here before it gets much more foggy and I can't find my way back to the boat ramp. Luckily, it's not too far. It's only about a mile away. So anyway, somebody asked about the comments. They're on right now. The comments are on. They're on the video that went up this morning. I did a video on these Bone Town catfishing drifting weights that came in. The comments were on earlier, so who knows how long. Usually YouTube turns them off sometime today, so just about the time we start to like it and enjoy it, they'll turn them off, but we'll see what happens. So hopefully they will stay up. So there we go. I'm anchored up on Lake Wateree, catching some fish. I tried another place. Got down here a little bit late. Went to my camper, jacked my jaws for a little bit. I've got 5 fish so far, nothing big. They're all 10, 12 pound fish. But I made a move to a place. I'll show you on the graph here what I'm set up on. And tell you why. May produce some fish. I don't know. I'm kind of dialing stuff in down here. We've had, there's a fish right there going. Let me get this fish. Sorry about that. I'll tell you why I think fish are here in a minute. And it's not because I got a bite. So get the cameras going. Bear with me. We'll catch fish. Boom. Made a move. New location. Pinky went off. See if she's still there. Boom. Popped off. Dadgum. Popped loose. Try to do a slow lift on it. There is a lot of brush in here. I'll explain to you in a second. Let me get this back out. All right, it didn't really kill it. Anyway, I'm anchored up. There's fish in here. I marked arches coming in here. I'm not deep. I'm only sitting in 9 feet of water. I'll show you real quickly what I'm sitting on. I got basically a point and shallow here. There's some buoys, really super shallow right now, as a matter of fact. It's probably a foot or so from being out of the water because of the drawdown on the lake. And I'm right here in this little saddle in between. Riding in on the boat, mark stuff up through here. There's a lot of trees. I marked some of the bigger ones here. There's a lot of debris on both sides. Pretty significant trees. So there's a good chance of getting hung up in here. But there's fish all in here, coming up in here. Saw them on the side scan. And some decent arches. There's also a pile of birds over here when I came in. So there's some bait around. So it's kind of a good place to set up. Hopefully, we think it is anyway. The bite's been, I got out here, it was after lunch when I started. So it's kind of a, it's okay bite. Maybe almost 2 fish an hour, something like that. It is raining and it is foggy. And beautiful day to be on the lake. There's nobody at the boat ramp. This lake is drawn down a lot. They've got it drawn down to their winter pool boat ramp. After I dropped the boat in and rode out of the creek I was in, was only about 2 feet deep. So that's normally 4 or 5 feet of water down there. So yeah, it's kind of skinny right now. So y'all keep your eye on the rods behind me. A little shout out, anybody from the fishing community here may have known Round Hill, Ron Howard. He passed away this morning. Don't know if you know him. He was a legendary fisherman in this area. He was a guide on Santee Cooper. I had planned to visit him while I was down there this week, and had been messaging him and didn't hear back from him. And I heard that he passed away this morning. He's won the Cabela's King Cat Classic here on Lake Wateree, and he was actually fishing. Part of the reason I came over here, a few hundred yards is where they caught most of their fish. If he was telling the truth. You never knew if Ron was telling the truth though. So I think, but yeah, great guy. He spoke at a bunch of our Carolina Catfish Club meetings that we had. We've had him speak and do presentations before. I don't know how many, I think it was 3rd place finishes he had in the Cabela's King Cat Classic, what used to be the Super Bowl of catfishing, and just a great fisherman, very full of life is the best way to describe Ron. He would tell you what he was thinking, but he also had a very big heart and a very kind guy. So he was a little bit mouthy, but he also had a big heart and a big soft spot. So thoughts and prayers to his family. Ron had been in declining health, but you know, it's just something you're never ready to hear, and I heard this morning. So thoughts and prayers out to those guys. I'll keep you posted. Any of you folks, if y'all hear anything about a service or anything for him, I don't know if the guides down on Santee are doing anything, but I'll keep you updated on it. I know he is from the North Carolina mountains. That's where the name Round Hill came from. His real name is Ron Howard, just like the actor Ron Howard and director. But Round Hill was like the community where he lived up in the North Carolina mountains, and he's told us that story many times. So anyway, let's see where we're at here. Got a bunch of people in here. A bunch of people are chiming in. It's very warm for December, almost January. We are on a warm snap. Obviously, we got some rain falling. It's unseasonably warm, 70-some degrees today, and there's a lot of water into this system. It's very muddy, a lot of debris in the lake. So there's a whole bunch of just weird stuff. The part of the reason I came shallow is I figured that maybe some of these fish would pull up shallow and feed. I wanted to go into the back of some of the creeks. The problem is some of the places in the backs of the creek, it's pretty shallow and stumpy right now. So I may mess with that when I got a little better light, and we'll see what's going on. Hello from Iowa. That's a long way. Got people from all over the place. Trying to see who's here in the chat. Prefer to use spinning gear if it is switch. Can you tell me why I should? It's in the middle 50s here in Chicago. All right, Carl, don't switch unless you absolutely have to. You can catch fish just fine on spinning gear. There's some advantages to bait casters. It can be somewhat easier to let out line on bait casters. I'm thinking what are some other things are. The drag is better on spinning reels. Generally speaking, all things being equal, you will get more drag on a spinning reel. We actually use some shark fishing, Penn Battle 2 models, I think it's 8,000 class, down at the coast shark fishing. You can put a lot of drag. I want to say those things have about 25 pounds of drag on them. Castability, generally speaking, most people can cast a bait caster better once you know how to cast one. Now, starting out, no way. You'll have nothing but a mess and frustration. But generally speaking, whenever you see anybody in a casting competition or anything like that, they're using bait casters. It's easier to control how far you throw the things. One good thing about bait casters is a lot of them have line counters. So if you're doing any kind of trolling, dragging, drifting, anything like that, some of them come with line counters. So you know how much line you have out. So there's things like that. Downlining directly underneath the boat. If you're using a line counter, it can be a little bit easier with a bait caster to let out line. With that said, don't go spend a bunch of money. You're not going to catch more fish buying bait casters instead of spinning gear. If you got spinning gear, go fishing. Spend time spending buying gas and going fishing. Do that first, and then once you get to the point where you go, man, I got to have a bait caster for this, then go buy it. Don't buy it just because I've got them back here. So I'm going to try to move a little bit here. Just so, and I'm going to turn. Sorry, I'm going to try to sit somewhere where I'm not sitting in the rain. I may stand. That may be easier. Let me try that. I just got rain dripping down my back. Let's try that. See what happens there. There we go. We're still here. You don't get to see the rods go off, but I'll show you if it happens. But yeah, that's my take on bait casters. It's what I use for all my bait rods. I've actually... Oh, Lordy. God bless us all here. Man down, fisherman down. Let me wipe this stuff off. Cat man down. Cat man down. Hopefully it's charging again. Somebody asked how's the fishing. It's okay. It's not great, but I got here kind of late and I'm kind of figuring stuff out. I know one thing. It's getting stupid foggy. This is a good time. I'm going to show you how stupid foggy it is getting out here. Somewhere over there is land. I'm just not sure where. We are shrouded in. I'm still close over here. I can still see trees over there. I can see stuff over there. But man, it's stupid. But yeah, the fishing's so-so. Hoping to get something on this point. I will sit there and wait this out until dark. So do you catch larger numbers? And I'm sorry if I missed a bunch of this in the chat. There's a good many people, but I'm just catching this last one. Do you catch large numbers of big catfish in the summer or winter? Not the summer. The summer is, generally speaking, the heat of the June, July time is very tough fishing. Now, once you get past July 4th, it starts to get better. But typically speaking, right around now is generally good for catching some whopper fish. It's kind of weird with some of these lakes lately, and we've been talking about it. It's just not that good and that great. But overall, before it gets cold, it's a great time to catch big fish. I go fishing for big fish in cold weather more than I do warm weather in summertime, if that makes any sense. So now that later part of the summer, late July, August, that's a good time to go night fishing and getting a bite on one of the rods. See if it's going to load it. Sorry, watching. I'm getting popped. I'm getting popped more here than I did the last place. Oh, come on, eat it. Jim Davis asking, what is better, bottom or suspended? Right now, bottom. I ain't had no luck catching anything suspended. My general rule is, generally, when catfish suspend, they're not feeding. Not always true, but I don't target suspended fish unless it's just absolutely hideous, and then I don't really catch them. Thing with catching suspended fish on most lakes, and I say most lakes, ones without standing timber, it's like they don't feed when they're suspended or don't feed that much. You can always catch one, but it's just not like you go, oh, I'm just fishing suspended baits today. You'll catch one here and there, but the relative number to the ones that are fished in close proximity to the bottom are that high. One exception to that around here is Lake Monticello in South Carolina, which has suspended timber or standing timber, and fish suspend around that and above that a lot because that is structure to them. That is that is security to them, and they like being close to it. Somebody asked about water temperature. It is 55 degrees where I'm at. It's a little bit muddy. Oh, getting bit on another rod now. It's one of the B&M rods. That fish is maybe swimming off with it. It's going to be real easy to lose a catfish in a tree here. There's a lot of timber off the both sides. Man, I'm getting hit with a lot of little bites, which is odd. I've got not huge baits, but a little bit bigger baits on here. So let's just see what I missed here. What's the water temp? I got that. Maybe one out of the cave run, Kentucky. Never got a bite. I caught 10-pound channel cat this morning. 10-pound channel cat's good. You catch one of those around here, you done something. We don't have that many of them. Dude, just scrolling back through here, looking out here. Fat Boy Dan in the house. What up, buddy? I hope you are doing emceeing the Catfish Cook-Off. He was the Catfish Cook-Off MC last year at the Catfish Conference. That one's getting hit again. I'm getting ready to just like bust a lip on one of these fish over here. I'm looking for a good catfish hook. Can you help me out? Is that Jonathan? Listen, all I use is circle hooks. I mean, here's the thing. Anything will catch a catfish. I mean, there's nothing special for a catfish. They will all catch. There's that slack line, tight line. That may be a fish. Let me answer your question. Anything will catch a catfish. It depends how you fish and your style of fishing. The way I fish, circle hooks. My rods are in rod holders. They are in a fixed position. I don't fish with bait clickers or none of that. You don't need any of that to catch catfish. I put mine in a rod holder. That allows a circle hook to set and pull into the corner of the fish's mouth when the fish takes the bait and swims off with it. And that's what I use. If you are predisposed to jerk a rod every time you see a fish bite, you might be better off going with J hooks, okay? That or you're just gonna pull a bunch of hooks out of their mouth. That's why I don't go nuts when a rod starts moving. I've got these things fixed. They're in monster rod holders. They're in a position. Lines are fairly tight. When a catfish takes it, that rod, the resistance from the rod tip, being in a fixed position, it's gonna force that hook into the corner of its mouth. It makes it kind of carefree in a sense. You don't have to maintain the rods the whole time. If you use circle hooks, do not use clickers. It is not, I think some people may, I don't know how to do it. I don't use it. You don't need them. If you're in a position, I think like Catfish Dave, the way he fishes, he doesn't use rod holders. He just lays his on a tackle box or a bucket or something. Yeah, don't lock your reel in. You need to use clickers in because your rod will get dragged off into the water if you're standing there taking a pee or something. But yeah, the way I do it and the way I'm set up, or if you're fishing on the bank and you've got rod holders in the ground where you can fix those rods, circle hooks work fine. So the other thing is, it's very nice it's very seldom that you throat hook a fish with a circle hook. It'll happen occasionally, but it's good for conservation if you're going to release the fish like I do with mine. So John said I'm bank fishing and losing it too. Yeah, fixing the rod, if I was bank fishing and I'm thinking about doing some, but I'm going to get Fishing and Stuff. Fishing and Stuff's got a channel here on YouTube. He does DIY fishing stuff. I'm going to get him to build me some bank fishing rod holders that will hold a rod in a position to where I can fish circle hooks. And I got an idea for how to do it. So, but Fishing and Stuff, his DIY channel will be the one to build it because he knows how to make all that stuff. Gosh, it's foggy. Let's see what time. We got about 45 minutes before dark. Tell us how hard that 70-pound fog. You know what? Palmetto, by the way, palmetto caps. You're going to get weird real quick. Let's all get weird. Let's all get funky here. You ever seen Dieter Strip? I got my hoodie on. I got my Monster Cats hoodie. But underneath all of it, my Palmetto Cats t-shirt is finally making an appearance on live TV. Or live YouTube, I should say. Anyway, that was weird. I just stripped halfway. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, you're asking about the big blue. I'll be honest with you, it fought like a 50-pound blue or a 40-pound blue. I think the hardest fighting pulling fish is in that 38, 40-pound range. And this one was like, okay, the biggest thing was when it got close to the boat and was underneath the boat, it was a pain to deal with then, as far as just you had to work the fish. The fish kept going. It kept going down like a flathead, but didn't like run off like a flathead, if that makes any sense. I knew it was big. I knew it was most likely a 50-pound class fish, but I didn't know until it rolled on its side it was as big as it was. So yeah, lucky to get that one. Lucky to get that one. Let's see what we got here. Good crowd of people. We got 119 people. Thanks for dropping by, everybody. By the way, I'm Dieter Melhorn if you're new. If you're new, welcome. If you're a subscriber to the channel, welcome back. So get the camera adjusted there. And if you're new, consider subscribing. I try to do these live feeds every now and then. I try to do them, I used to do them just all the time when I was fishing, but the problem was people have to work. So I try to do them toward the evenings. I try to do them on the weekend when people are around and available. I love to do them at night, Friday, Saturday night when people are off work and stuff. I just haven't been out fishing any in the evening here recently. So yeah, that's kind of the deal. Man, I'm gonna check those, but let's see. Yeah, some things cannot be unseen. So Tater wants to know why you were pulling your shirt up. Honey, tell Tater that somebody sent Daddy a t-shirt and it had their logo on there, and I wanted to show him that I was wearing the shirt. So that's why Daddy was acting weird. So anyway, it's good to have fans. Let me do this. Let me just check these two that were getting popped. I'll spin the camera around so you can see it. Man, it's foggy. Tanya, my wife, if I'm not home tomorrow, it's because it's really bad foggy. And I'm somewhere out here at June Creek. I've got half a sandwich left and 2 cans of smoked salmon, so I should be okay. There. Little backlash. Need more weight on that rod. That bait looks fine. So I got something new. Normally I do mail call as a video like I did this morning, but when I got to my truck at Santee, and I'm gonna do a video on these things. A guy had left these on my truck at Santee when I was down there, and they're called Bait Buddies. See what they are, and I'm gonna put a link up with these things on where you can get a hold of them and where you can order them. I think they got a Facebook page right now that they're selling them on. And it was funny, I was just talking in a video yesterday and I was telling him that, yeah, I forgot what bait I had on which rod. He makes these things, they're really way nice, that clip onto your rod holder. Okay, and they're different colors. They basically got a peg float and just a little carabiner. And boom, you clip it onto your rod holder. And what I did was, I've got it on 2 of mine that I have perch heads out on. Okay, I'm fishing with perch today, and I'm either using fillets or, hang on, I just hear a boat coming, so I want to make sure Mr. Boat can see me. That's the only thing about being in the fog, is making sure boats see you. Yeah, I don't trust boats that can't see. Hang on a second. Still here, folks, still here. Still here. Good time to put on a PFD. In less than desirable conditions, it is go ahead and good to put one on. I always wear one at night and put my camera underneath it. Sitting in the fog's a good time to have one on. So anyway, what I was telling you was, these things, I'll put a link, I'll do a video on them, but it's a cool idea. You can hang it on there, and I know which ones now have whatever bait, if you're using shad or different stuff. So anyway, that's kind of what the deal is there with those things. Pretty cool, pretty cool. You should try bait bond, just talking about the other day. Oh, are you talking about the chum pods? I'm gonna try chum pods once the water warms up. I think it'll go good. I hear them talking. they're lost. They can't see. I think it's that way. Never good. Little story. Man, that fog's getting bad. Wow. I was sitting out here, middle of the day one time, anchored up. Same thing. Had a boat come riding up to me. And guy kind of comes up to me, sees me, says, "Hey man, which way is Dutchman Creek landing?" And I said, "Dutchman Creek's that way," pointing that way. So just like these guys, I hear a motor off into the fog, get way off in the distance. And about 10 minutes later, I hear a boat coming again. I'm like, another boat. He's coming. I see him come in, and guy pulls up and says, "Hey man, which way is Dutchman Creek landing?" Same guy. He had made a complete circle. And because what will happen is, if you don't have GPS and you don't have a compass on a boat, you will go in a circle, is basically what will happen. Oh, that's my pump. A lot of it has to do with the rotation of the prop. Makes your boat veer to one side. Depending on which way the prop's rotating, it will make your boat turn to one side. That's why whenever you see video of somebody falling out of a boat, usually it'll slowly turn that motor to the right and end up going in a circle. But yeah, you will kind of veer to the right. People lost in the woods do the same thing. They'll tend to walk in a circle if they're not very woods oriented. So how did we get off on that tangent? I don't know, but let's see what we got here in the comments. Fisherman Pro, good luck. Thank you. Yeah, it's foggy, Fin Seeker. It is very foggy out there. Can you GPS on your fish finder to navigate back to the launch site? Yes, Mark, that's what I use. I've got GPS and I've got a compass on the boat. And I've got a compass on the phone. That's one thing. Fishes, especially if you go out into the ocean, put a compass on your boat, because if you lose electronics for whatever reason, you're in a world of hurt without a compass, unless you're really good with celestial navigation and that kind of thing, especially when you're out of sight of land. But just out here in a lake, if it was to get foggy, sometimes with these weird temperatures we got right now, fog can roll in very quickly, and it can roll out very quickly too. But it's good to have a compass on the boat. Don't rely on your cell phone, because obviously it can die too. What brand of size circle hooks do you use? Russell, the ones I've been using have been from Hooker's Terminal Tackle. They make a circle hook that is very similar, almost identical to a Gamakatsu hook. Gamakatsu is what I used before I was using their hooks, and they sent them to me to try out. They're very affordable. They're more affordable than the Gamakatsu hooks, but you have to order them from Hooker's Terminal Tackle. So you can go to Hooker's Terminal Tackle online and order them. That's the only downside. Whereas if you're at a Bass Pro Shop, Gamakatsu octopus circle hooks. Those are the ones I'm trying to think if I got one laying around. Don't move. Still in the boat. I'm still here. Still here. Still here. Hadn't fallen in the lake. I'll pull one up here and show you. The ones that I use. Everybody's got a different way of snelling a hook. I snell mine a certain way. Doesn't mean it's... I think we're getting bit by the Wateree bad cell signal. It was good earlier, but we may be getting bit by it. Let's see what happens. See if cell signal stays up here for a second. What I do when I snell a hook, I'll show you real quick. Everybody does it different. I got this way because I can cut a hook off and put a new one on without having to undo the leader. I run it through the eye on the top side, so it is parallel to the shank of the hook. Shank being this part. Not being something you stab somebody with in prison. Now make a loop. Pinch it with your finger. And then, this is hard to do and show somebody. This is so much muscle memory. Like that. Then I wrap it back around the shank of the hook, however many times you want to. I would do it at least 4. You can do it 5. You can do it God's number of 7. It's through there like that. Boom. Then just pull it tight. Boom. It's on the back of the hook. Now, Trim that up, trim that off. Boom. It's gonna hang like that, okay? Some people like it to where it's very, where you have just a regular straight eye, and it's very, I'm trying to make it hang like that, like this, and they say there's a trigger action or something. I don't. I want it hanging straight to the back of the hook so that it pulls to the corner of the mouth. That's my take on it. Everybody's different. Everybody does stuff a little bit different, but that's the way I snell one. So now I got to tie a leader. I'm gonna cut that off, put that on there. I was trying to see if I had any. Let's see what's in here. No, I don't have any in there. Now this was something cool somebody sent me. These are those Ewa foam floats. Somebody sent me some of these. Didn't want to sell them, just wanted to get rid of them. What I did was, I've been using some of these just for the heck of it. The only thing is a regular peg doesn't fit in it. So I got little beads in here, little like add-a bead necklaces. Any of you people like old school know what that is? Put one of those little add-a bead things in there. I run this line through it. Poof. And pull it up there wherever you want it. Now I basically use another one of the little beads to plug it up with. Kaboom! Just like that. Then all we do is take a snap swivel. All this stuff I've got in my rig wrap. I think they call it a rig pack 60 or something. Then I tie on this end, just an improved clinch knot. Boom. Some people call it a fisherman's knot, but I don't think a fisherman's knot goes back through there. Boom. There you go. Got your Santee rig. I just tied a rig up. I just did some tackle tending. Take my scissors, trim off the little tag, and we're good. We're back to fishing. So that was a long answer to a question about a hook, wasn't it? Let's see who's here. Everybody went to sleep while I was doing it. It'll act as a trigger on straight shank hook. Yeah, Fishing Impossible. There's some different takes. I mean, they all catch fish, I'll be honest with you. How's the water look there? Dingy, dirty. It looks dirty. It doesn't look exactly muddy, Carolina Outdoors. There's some trash out along the main channel, and yeah, it kind of is what it is. That's why I'm not dragging. That's why I'm not dragging. I mean, doing that so a person can see a little better. Fred, I haven't, but I will. I actually need to do just some basic cook stuff, and I'll probably do it with some colored line or some colored yarn or something so that you can really see it. So, Rudy's asking, what do you think about the bait running spinning reels? Not familiar with them, to be perfectly honest, to the point that I could say anything along those lines. Nitro Whiskers Catfishing, Larry Muse knot equals 7 reps. That is a godly number, 7. So you should go with 7. It just takes a while to wrap 7 of them around there. Past year was crappy, did fairly well. Past year was crappy. Yeah, Mike, I've started crappie fishing, and y'all might be seeing some crappie, crappie, whatever you want to call them, fishing videos. Yep, Ernest said he only uses Hooker's Terminal tackle. Boom, hopefully it's there. Signal goes in and out. The closer I get to the phone, I must be having my own gravity, and it's messing up the signal. So, fog's starting to, it's right on the water now. It's up above, I can see clouds, so it's kind of on and off. Let me kill this bait tank. Hear that bait tank whining? That is when the pump in it starts to go to put. So hang on, it'll be quieter. I bet it, or when I disappear and somebody new comes into the feed and everybody's chatting and talking. Why are all these people talking and there's nobody in the shop? So anyway, so we're at here. Thank you, William K. Very kind of you. I try. I do what I can. Finally, got some winter cats on Wiley, Slam, Blue, Flat, and Channel. Wow, David, that's pretty good. The everything I've been hearing. Oh. It was like, it was going. Dang. I thought we had one. I thought we had a decent one there. That was a good little run. Huh. That broke my heart. What I was saying was Wiley's been kind of tough. That's why I went to Santee this weekend and then stopped back up here to fish. Wiley has kicked my butt. It's actually what spun me into shooting some crappie fishing videos. So um, it's so bad because it's so beautiful out here. The weather is wonderful. And it's just wonderful weather to be December. Eric was asking about Catfish Conference. I will be at the Catfish Conference. That's coming up in February. For you guys that don't know, maybe new to it, have not heard of it, the Catfish Conference is basically a trade show, a fishing trade show that is centered around, and he's all around that again, around the catfish industry. So it's really a cool place. If you're looking to buy fishing rods, it's the place to buy rods because every catfish rod is there, and you don't have to pay the shipping on them. That's the nice thing. Somebody's asking, was it guard bites? I'll say no. I'll say it was a catfish that just didn't hook up. Reason being, a gar bite has a very violent and quick bite to it. And actually the gar here now are kind of in a lethargic staging mode. But the gar bites that we get are usually, rod goes, whoo, pow, and flies back up. That's usually a gar bite. This was like a slow swim off, almost like a really good blue bite. But it just didn't hook up. And I don't remember if that was a bigger bait because that's in my floor one and I didn't put my little hanger thingy on it. So anyway, fog's starting to burn off. I may make it back. I haven't found a white perch yet. Crappy. What's your personal best video game on? I'm probably going to cut it this week, and I'll probably put it up. I'll probably change. I have stuff scheduled for like the next 3 weeks, but I'll probably pull one of those and get that PB video up. Just people have been asking about it, so I'm anxious to see how it came together. I have not. I looked at a little bit of the video and hadn't even because I ended up shooting yesterday too, and I just haven't even had a chance to look at it yet. So thanks for asking. Back roads and bass. Listen, I am very honored with anybody that has bass in the title of their channel to pledge up some money. That is much appreciated. See what you said here. Getting hard runs over and over, but not catching them. 2-ounce drop shot. They just hit once and not taking the bait. No gar in this lake that I've seen. Are you sure? I don't know. Where are you fishing at? I'm curious what lake you're fishing at because, I mean, that almost sounds like a gar bite, but gar are not really active right now. I caught one the other day that was suspended. I thought it may be some catfish, but it was actually suspended gar, and that fish acted like it was dead. I'd be curious what's hitting it and pulling it down, and what kind of hooks you're using too. That's interesting. So because mock right out of the gate, yeah, Flint Hill catfish, and that is true. Gar hit it with violence, and usually it's warmer water too. We got 50-some degree water here, and that's usually kind of tough. So yeah, I am curious. Back roads and bass. I like that name. What the setup is and where you're fishing. That's the thing that's hard, because I've had people ask me about like different lakes and stuff in different parts of the country, and stuff's sort of the same, but there's a lot of little subtle differences in just how you fish and how you do stuff in different places. So it's tough call. It's a tough call on what it is, especially if you've got if you're one of those like Tennessee River places that has like drum or something like that in it. Those things have kind of a weird bite. Paddlefish, that's another one that's got like this, will do some weird things. We don't have those here. So if you actually are able to get one to actually bite something, which is odd. If you're going to monster flathead catfish, you need to fish the Congaree River, Big Rooster. The Congaree is a place I would like to visit, and I may go with you because that's a little bit of an intimidating waterway if you don't know it, and I've never fished it. You get into them places with sandbars and trees and alligators. They got alligators. Yeah, it's intimidating. I think it would be cool to get in it with somebody that knows their way around it like you and actually just see how to navigate it, because I was talking about that yesterday on the thing I was doing on Santee Cooper. Santee Cooper, big water, big place, great fish, but it can be intimidating. So it's sometimes you're better off going with a guide or somebody that knows the waterway. I saw that comment, Dale. I saw that. I knew you'd be proud. I was just saying, boom, eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. I was standing out here in fog with a boat going by that I didn't know could see me, and I said, you know what? Probably smart to put on a life jacket when you're in a precarious situation. We may actually have a small fish on here. Let's see if we can catch one. Let's jump over here. I need to close up my tackle box bag. Let's see if this sucker's on here. Boom. Oh, he's a little one. He's a little one. I'm gonna nurse it in just to make sure I get it on video, on the live feed. Because you know what we say. Oh, he's hooked good. Any fish caught live is a good fish. There you see. That little fella took an 8/0 hook. And it didn't rip his eyeball out. Muddy water, light colored fish. Normal combo there. Nice little eater size. These are those Bonetown sinkers from the video this morning. That's them. I've just got a drifting sinker on here. I don't change them over. Let me chunk this back out there. Back in there. With the snap, it's easy to change them over, but I just don't. I'm lazy, whatever. I don't know. I don't change them over. Bottom line is, it's like I said in the live feed yesterday, I look for one thing in sinkers, and this is what everybody needs to look for when they buy sinkers, okay? This is one thing very important. Everybody needs to pay attention to this. When you buy a sinker, they need to sink. That's right. Sinkers need to sink. That is the most important thing. They need to sink. Anything else is a bonus. So, now in all seriousness, probably better casting wise was what happens is those long drifting sinkers from Bonetown. When you cast them, there's some whip action in there, so you're probably better off if you really want to chunk a long ways, putting a smaller, more compact sinker on there. If I was trying to cast something a long way, that's what I would do. But I'm just up here in this little pocket trying to, I'll get to click him off, trying to put a couple of fish in the boat, trying to show y'all that I can catch a fish, number 6. And remember, any fish caught live is good fish. So there we go. See, what did I miss over here? Scrolling down. Backroads and bass. Throw some more in there. Man, you're very kind. Very kind. Thank you very much. 5/0 circle. Yeah, it's... Now, sometimes... Here's the thing, people. I like circles. There are times when I think J-hooks will work better. Suspended fish, I don't fish for them that much. But I think if you're drop shotting for them, bass style, straight up and down over them with a rod, a circle, a J may work better. I know, like with flatheads, when I used to fish for flatheads I used to fish from a boat, casting to the bank, hitting brush piles and docks and stuff. I'd fish J hooks a lot of times. Most of the time, those fish would take that bait at the bank and come back at the boat. If you've ever watched any of my videos, you'll see me kicking the boat a lot of times if I'm anchored up when fish are coming straight at it, trying to get them to turn so that circle hook will catch the corner of their mouth. A J hook will give you a chance to reel down, set the hook on it. Vertical fishing, drop shotting on top of them, J hook might be a better way to go. It all depends how much energy you want to put into it. If you got a suspended fish that may not be horribly active, he may just come up and hail that bait and sit there. So that's where popping them with actually doing a hook set on them may pay off. So something to think about. It's interesting though. It's got me thinking about it now. Like I said, I don't vertical fish for them that much, but like in a bottom bouncing situation, maybe a J hook may work better help with the hookups. I don't know. That or it could be little bitty fish. So I don't know. Let's see here. Flint Hill Catfishing, thanks for dropping by. Let's see you catch bass, perch, and crappies, Fisherman Lee. Crappie videos I got up, perch I got up, bass I don't. I don't. There goes another one. Make sure it stays on there. Boom. Hooked up. This is a Mariner rod, one I put in the mix. Hopefully we reconnect. Boom. Got one. I turned my phone, my signal went, whoever threw up $10, thank you. That's very kind. Very kind. I'll take a look at who that is in a second. Another one getting a little bit bigger. Still no monsters, but the same light color from the dark water. They just seem to go lighter when the water gets dark. Clear water, typically they, boom, release a lot. Typically they get darker in clear water. Again, another one of those Bone Town sinkers. That has one of those Eva foam, whatever it's called. It's basically a spongy close-cell foam. And just a little perch head on there for bait. Just get the head, fillet the sides off of it, cut out the backbone. Bam! There comes the rain. Yeah, I've got 6 rods, fan cast out around the boat. Get a towel, hang on. Keep my fingers dry so I can move the screen without hanging up at the same time. So, look out there. Michael, Missouri. Hopefully I pronounced the... Can't let a bass fisherman out. I love it. I think he's a catfish fisherman. He just has bass in the name. So thank you very much. That's very kind of you. And very funny too that you say that. So no, the one thing I don't do is bass fishing. I guess part of it is, I mean, I used to do it when I was younger, but I never really got serious. There's enough people doing it, first of all. Everybody's a bass fisherman. Oh, here we go. Now the battle begins. This is hilarious. Oh, we need Kevin Van Dam in here. We need Kevin Van Dam with his credit card slinging some money around. Thank you again. That's funny. Y'all gonna have a little battle going on here. I wish I had like a pile of chips to give away. Let me grab a drink. Hang on. But yeah, I don't do the bass. There's enough people doing the bass thing. If I had an opportunity to go do something fun bassing, I might, but I just don't want to be another, you know, dude out bass fishing trying to catch bass. So we've got enough of those, and I'll just try to work in the catfish world and stuff related. I mean, I like crappie fishing. The white perch, I think, helps people. I think a lot of people that fish for catfish can use a lot of the same skill set to catch crappie. I know a lot of our guys that are, oh, this is getting crazy now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Yeah, if all this stuff really is real and it's not some bot, Michael messaged me, and yeah, I'll tell you all my secret holes. I'll tell you where the bass are too. I mean, I'll tell you where I could. Serious note on the bass thing. Mr. Donating, I'll give you a bass tip from, that looks really weird. Don't do that. I have caught a lot of bass here recently fishing for catfish, and I'm talking 4, 5, 6 pound bass, not 6 pounds, 5 pounds, 4 or 5. There was one that was like 5'1", deep on points. And like I said, I don't bass fish enough in the wintertime to know where they're at, but there have been a lot of them on these big, deep submerged points. So You guys are, everybody else got quiet in the chat, and this is just like watching a cage fight going on here with these two. This is very nice. Michael, you're funny. Both of y'all are. This is really good. Backroads and Bass, y'all are awesome. Thank you. I'll do this more often. If it means taking my shirt off and showing you my shirt, I'll do this more often. It's very entertaining. Make sure nothing else happened here. Get to where I can see the feed again. Dang, did $9 come in again? Wow, I'm trying to with 100 catfishermen. It's a pride thing. And see, that's the bad thing is that bass fishermen, especially if you fish any tournament, cat fishermen that fish tournaments, it's more about the gambling than it is the fishing for a lot of them. And some people are purists and into the fishing. Most of them are just gamblers. And that's what I think these two guys are up here popping up on the screen. I think y'all are gamblers. And at this point, it's all about winning. So it's very hilarious, very fun to watch. And both of you message me, and I'll give you a big thanks. Let me ask y'all this. Thought I was saying right there. With these donations coming, which are very kind. Some people have asked me about doing a Patreon type deal, and I have stayed away from doing it because my problem is it's basically a deal where people pay so much a month or something. My problem is not being able to deliver any value on it. I know some other channels, gaming channels, hunting channels, all kinds of different places have the Patreon thing. And that's the reason I've stayed away from it, just so everybody knows, because my problem is I think it's hard to ask somebody for money if you're not delivering some kind of value. You know, I guess there's some value here apparently for you guys because I get out here and jack my jaws and talk about stuff and, you know, but just to do it. So that's what's kept me, if I can ever figure out a way to come up with some kind of values, I don't know, like secret tips on the lake or where the secret holes are that fish are biting or something like that, I may entertain that something down the road. But I've had some people private message me about that and just can't figure out anything good yet. So bank fishing on a cold overcast day, no bites, but something just jumped. So we got here, Wally, I'd like to have Jimmy Houston's lake with an old hand crank telephone. It's even called. Jimmy's a cool guy. You never know, he may jump in this chat one day if he sees that it's live. I do know he subscribes to my channel, and I subscribe to his, and maybe he'll jump in here and say, hey, one day. I know he does a Sunday chat every Sunday. He's already had that on the day. If y'all haven't ever checked out his channel, Jimmy Houston, the bass fisherman. Yeah, he started a YouTube channel a little while back. I was actually beating him for a while. We were head to head. And then he cashed in a bunch of points I don't have with some Bill Dance and some other people over at Bass Pro Shop. So he kind of got a jump on me. So he's a few thousand ahead now. But yeah, he's got a cool channel. So bait runner reels are great. I have not used any bait runner reels. Wait a second, let me check a bite here. Hang on. Sorry. I'm back. Thought we had a bite, man. We got us pulled over to this side. Let me see where I was at here. Just making sure these dollar numbers up here haven't changed any. Damn, and what did I... John Wolf, you're asking, what did you miss? Well, you missed a monetary battle in donations to the channel between a bass fisherman and a catfish fisherman. And it's really funny and very kind. And I'm going to find a good use for it. So that's what you missed. You hadn't missed much on the fish. I've caught 2 fish, I think. 2 fish. Medium-sized catfish. I am fishing on Lake Wateree. I think some backroads and bass had a nudge in with another chip there. He's back. Y'all guys are hilarious. Y'all are hilarious. I need to go party with y'all in Vegas and let y'all just start shoving chips on the table there. So that's what you missed right there. You missed that battle going on. But I'm fishing on Lake Wateree. I moved up here from Santee this morning, and It's kind of, I didn't click off that last fish, did I? No. Number 7. I've only caught 2 on camera here in this last little spot. Just tried to anchor in one here, and this lasts a little bit before the sun goes down, and I have to bolt back to the ramp. Good news, guys. The fog is starting to lift. I think I can make it out of here safely. What happens is we've got these little bands of rain coming through, and when that rain comes through, you get a little drop in temperature and dew point and all that stuff. Boom, fog blows up, and then you get a little bit moving out. Starting to see some clear sky back that way, so maybe we'll have some decent fishing tomorrow. I get to fish one more day, I think, and then I'll probably have to do some work at some point. Got to edit my video of the personal best fish too. You win. Change your name to Backroads and Blue Cats. That way you don't have to get into the monetary battle, but it's much appreciated. And yeah, that's you guys make it fun. You make it interesting. It's cool with these live feeds now that they're such a good crowd. They're a really amazing crowd. I was up to, I don't know if somebody's seen the pink. It's around 124 now, but there's a good little crowd of people coming in. It's be really fun if we get out and start like catching the hound out of, actually it's probably more fun when we're not catching fish, because we can sit here and talk and I can answer some questions and go over stuff. When it's catching a fish at 100 miles an hour, it's a little bit tougher. So what's a quality planer board you would recommend? All right, I will go over that. What is that? Furnace Man threw in something. Oh, he's keeping it up. Good job there. We need to bring, what y'all need to do is go share this on some bass fishing channels and bring in more bass fishermen, and then you can ridicule them and get them to, that would be the way to go there. So Michael Messer with $2. Thank you. Very kind of you for doing that. Listen, Backroads and Bass, just, you're good, man. You're good. I would just stop right there so the wife doesn't cut off the credit card, and we'll just call it good, and we'll call it even. You can change the name and then come back and everything will just be fine. You're good. You're a good guy. Let me show you something on planer boards. Somebody's asking about planer boards. I'll show you something real quick. Don't move. Don't move. Yep, wrong one. Hang on. So I've got several planer boards I've used. I've done some videos on them. I've got 3 different ones on the boat right now. This is the one, Sooner Special. You can see through this, see? Ooh, the world's pink. It's not pink. Pink, not pink. Sooner Special, guy makes them. Picture It Engraving. He's on Facebook. He made these. These have the plexiglass blade, runner, whatever you want to call it. A little just snap swivel on that end for attaching to your line. And then the regular Scotty clip on this one. He's got a couple different ones, more rounded, a couple of different sizes. You check this out. These work good. Very light board. One I just did something on an unboxing on is from BCAT. Another good one. These are metal. Similar in size. These are a little bit smaller. This is metal. Noodle float part shaped a little bit different. I got to tell you a story about this in a second. Just wait. And these have the clip. It's got the same attachment to the line. It's got a snap swivel. But this has the kind of clip that's got the little peg. If I hold it right there, you'll see that little peg. Your line goes behind that so that if the line breaks, it gets snagged, this will stay attached to the line, whereas the other Scotty clips pop loose. So you can buy these clips and swap them out if you want to. And then this is one that's like the Zach Royce board, similar, and you know, smaller blade. You can tell the difference in these here and just how big, how much, oh, heard a rod pop. Might have a fish. How much flotation it has and how much of that blade is in there. So all of that factors in to, got 2 of them going, hang on. We'll say, all right, somebody's eating on the tiger rod. Yeah, these cameras roll. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see if it stays buttoned. Boom, stuck a loosey. Boom, taking some line. Taking some line. Got a fish. Got a fish. Boom. Got here. Let's see where it's going. It's on top. Got to deal with an anchor line. All right, smart money is going to be to go to that side away from the anchor. Sorry guys, what the deal is, I got an anchor out the back, so I'm trying to navigate him around that. Boom. Now we got him in the strike zone. Over here. Bam. Taping a little live deal over my shoulder and catching fish. Another blue cat. In the last hours of life. There he is, guys. Good looking fish. Boom. Good fish. There he is, guys. Another one in that 6-7 pound range. Hello, world. He's talking to you. Yeah. There's a lot of people watching. Yep. Yep, that's YouTube. Yep, that's YouTube. Is that all? Is that all you're going to say? That's all you got to say. Okay. Thought we had more. Yeah. I don't know if Catfish Dave is what. No, I'm not going to ask in chat if Catfish Dave is watching. I know Catfish Dave is the one you want to get caught by. No, I don't know. Yeah, I do know Catfish Dave. Just go back. Another Catfish Dave. Ugh. Where were we? Get this bait back in the water. See if we can get one more before it gets too dark. Even the catfish are asking about Catfish Dave. That's sad. That's sad. That's sad. Anyway. Got another one. I know we got 3 on camera. That's pretty good. Not bad. No monsters, but it is what it is. So you have to serenade the fish. I was just reading through. Hopefully that answered your question about the planer boards. I've got several different ones. People have sent me some different ones. Bear boards are another one that I've got. I don't have them on the boat right now. My advice on planer boards is you need to go with these bigger ones. Look through the videos on my channel. Just put in my name and just go in the search thing, type in Dieter Melhorn, and then put planer boards. And I should have videos with all the different planer board videos I've done. Go with one of those planer boards versus some of the smaller ones. There's smaller ones out there that I've used trying to think of some of the little ones. The problem you're going to have with smaller planer boards is they don't plane out as good at slower speed. That's the single biggest issue, is they just don't want to plane out when the boat's going slow, and they don't want to pull heavy baits. So what that I'm going to do a video on just to talk about and show you. So yeah, check that. Thanks, Nitro. Yeah, it's these are all good in their own way. Some of it's going to depend on what kind of rigs you're pulling. But I think if you go with any of them, you can make there maybe another fish. Depending on what kind of rigs, how you pull, how fast you're going, whether you're using them anchored in the boat in the river, because you can fish it. You can fish a planer board anchored. You can be anchored, put baits on them in river current, and have them swim out away from the boat to spread out your lines and stuff. So it doesn't just have to be in a moving boat. But I believe you got to go with these bigger boats. So our bigger boards. So I was watching this one board here, our one rod. Is it still duck season in South Carolina? I got something that sounds like a hideous duck. Usually that means it's a duck hunter. Is it still duck season? Somebody give me a thumbs up if it's still duck season in South Carolina. I don't duck hunt, so laughing good for a little information and some laughs. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. If I can't do anything else, I'll try to do that. Yes, Brian, I am anchored, if somebody was asking. And I apologize, guys. I miss a lot of stuff in the chat, especially we got so many people. We got 111 now. We got so many people. I appreciate y'all joining in, and I apologize because I will miss stuff in the chat. That is the thing that is very difficult about doing this, and it can be frustrating. That's why I like having my comments on my videos. They're on right now. Usually what happens as soon as I mention one of these videos, they go away. On one of these live feeds, it goes away. But that's why I like having comments, because I like to answer stuff and, you know, help people out if I can. That's kind of the entire goal of this channel, is have a positive impact on the anglers that we reach. And we're blessed to reach a lot of anglers and a lot of people. Many of you I've never even met. Got to meet two guys at the boat ramp today when I put the boat in that I had never met before, that watched the channel, came up and said, hey, when I was leaving Santee, there was a guy there that I seen, and he said he watched the channel, and that's cool when I get to meet people. So if you see me out, come say hey. And yeah, I'm about as stupid in person as I am on here. So yeah, I don't invite. Hopefully y'all will be at the Catfish conference. This is coming up in February. I think it's the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 25th, somewhere in there. I'm going to have some videos up about it, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and I'll bring you up to date on that. I'm going to be out there hanging out, taping a bunch of stuff, doing some podcasts, all that kind of stuff. What up, Peter? Love the content. Hope you have a New Year's. Keep up what you're doing. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it, buddy. I appreciate the words of confidence. What's up from Pikeville, Kentucky? Pikeville, Kentucky. So when I hear Pikeville, I think deer hunting. Hope you're doing well up there in beautiful Kentucky. So, a little information. So, make laugh. My time the dater is live, and she says and watches it with me. But all I guys and Catfish is the way Vincent loves to watch Dieter. That's very cool, Terry. That's very cool. The Dieter, you're drifting or anchored today. I am anchored, as somebody said. Very cool. The good thing about having all of y'all in here is usually you bring people up to date on stuff that I miss. So, anytime soon on Lake Norman, Kingfish Ask. That's actually on my radar. We were talking about that the other day about fish on Norman, and I have not been up there in a while to fish. Part of me wanted to go up there and go striper fishing, but part of me doesn't really give a crap about striper fishing, because most of the people that watch my channel like catfishing content or something thereabouts related to it. And eat the bait, fish. Eat the bait. If I come here tomorrow, I may come back to this spot. There's a lot of action right here at dark. This may be the place to be right at sunrise. The wind's going to be howling tomorrow. That's the only bad thing. But I haven't fished Norman in a while for catfish. And I pondered whether or not Norman has some secret giants in there. It's a very deep lake. Not really fished heavily for catfish. Previous state record came from it. There have been multiple 50-pound fish gone out of it. So that suggests to me that there should be some other good fish in there. I just haven't put a lot of time. It's a big lake. It's intimidating. It's a very big, massive man-made lake. And yeah, I probably need to spend more time up there, spending some time on it. Here, using circle hooks. Yes, Joe, that's all I use is circle hooks. I used octopus style, Gamakatsu style from Hooker's Terminal Tackle. So like the octopus, Gamakatsu octopus circle hooks is the style I use. 8/0 and 5/0. I use two different sizes. Either big ones for the big bait. The reason I use those hooks, people have asked that, is the gap on them. And I need to do another video on this. But basically, the distance from there to there is, let me do this again. There we go. The distance from there to there is wide, and that's the important part for me because of that bony structure and some of the bigger fish's mouth and stuff. So in case you get one in the bottom part of the lip versus this part of the lip. Glad I did that without hooking myself because it's not worth going viral over. Yeah, those are the ones I use. So hopefully that's some good information for you. So when is the Catfish Conference? Stay tuned to my page. I want to say it's the third weekend in February. It's like 23rd, 24th, 25th. I'll put it to you this way. It's the weekend after the Daytona 500. I don't know how much information they have posted yet on their website, but it is the week after the Daytona 500, which is 13th, 14th, something like that in February. So I think it's the third weekend of February, 23rd, 24th, 25th, some whatever that weekend is there around that. So anyway, that's it. Do you use offset hooks? I try not to, just because offset hooks will generally hook up better, but they're also more likely to throat hook or mouth hook a fish. Throat hook a fish, not mouth hook a fish. Throat hook one. So I just usually use the, the end lines. This one's all got an offset on it. So kind of depends what I got. That's actually, I think that is actually a Gamakatsu hook there. You can see it is offset just a little bit. So yeah, yeehaw. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off here. Sunset is right about now. Give me time to get my lines in and get back before anything else gets that much foggier. I appreciate all the donations to the channel tonight. That battle of the bass and the catfish was fun and entertaining, and y'all had a good time with that, and it's much appreciated. The other folks that donated too, just to try to beat down the poor bass guy, thank you very much. That's very nice. And either way, y'all are some great people, and it's folks like y'all that keep me doing this. Can y'all tell there's like this pink glow starting? I don't know if the camera will probably balance for it. Just when I'm getting ready to leave, I gotta go do something else. Can you see that pink glow? Because we got a little bit of clear sky and it's kind of pinkish. It is really, the camera is kind of balancing for some of it. I'm trying to get away for some, it's white balancing against that stuff, but it's like this creepy looking pink purple out here. That's kind of creepy. So anyway, kind of weird looking. But yeah, it's got the fog lit up with it. Yeah, that's something I don't think I can capture on video. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to try to do more of these. I think I got videos coming up. I think I may have them up the day after New Year's instead of New Year's. So make a run to the dock and catch y'all on the water soon.